Get live and yes, we are live. Hello, friends. Welcome to Business Learnings. In this video, we'll talk about why the share prices of Vodafone Idea and Airtel rallied, and also, if you have observed, the share prices of Reliance Industries Limited. They also touched a new high, a new 52-week high. They crossed. They went to approximately 1,510 rupees in today's trade. And if you talk about Vodafone Idea, they rallied about 40% today, more than 40%. Airtel also rallied a lot. Well, what was the reason for the same? We will try to understand that. And maybe we'll also discuss if it's a good time to buy. Uh, of course, I'll just put a perspective. What do I think about it? So, as you already know, the AGR dues, adjusted gross revenue dues, which was ruled by Supreme Court, the definition was changed, and therefore, Airtel and the Vodafone Idea, both these companies, they declared huge losses. Vodafone Idea actually declared a loss of about more than 50,000 crore rupees, including all those dues of about 44,000 crore rupees. So this was of course, they did not pay the money yet, but they still reported it in their financial statements so that they could uh, start developing pressure onto the government or regulatory bodies, because this is a huge number, 50,000 crores in a quarter. It's a very huge number. The biggest loss so far in the Indian stock market history was posted by Tata Motors. That too, it was about 26,000 crores a few quarters ago. If you remember that, had taken the loss of your JLR write-off. This 50,000 is beyond anything, and uh, top management at Vodafone Idea sat together. They decided that if they have to survive, they will have to increase the tariff rates. Uh, And trust me, honestly, the tariff rates in India are quite low. It is among one of the lowest across the entire world. If you go to the US, you will have to pay 30, 40 times more than what you are paying here for the same amount of data you are spending. Just recall the time before this data revolution. You were paying more than 200, 300. You were paying 200 to 300 rupees for getting 1 GB of data. And now at the same price, you are getting you are getting that amount of data every day instead of just for the entire month. So that is one thing. And Geo started the tariff war, and everyone had to cut prices, and still they are losing customers. So there is no way that everyone could survive in that situation. So they decided, Vodafone Idea decided that they are going to increase the tariff prices by December. They have not yet declared by what percentage will they increase their tariff, by what fraction will they increase it, what will be the new plans. But the war is about to come to an end, the war among telecom players. Uh, and this increase in tariffs will will help Vodafone Idea to increase its revenue, and uh, uh, the boost in revenue could be, you know, it could help the earnings to grow. Of course, most probably it will still be negative. Let's say what happens. Let's see what happens. It will all depend upon the price elasticity of the customers and the actual price that they end up paying. But since Airtel as well followed the suit of increasing prices, tariff prices. By December, it will also increase prices. And Reliance Jio also decided that it will increase the prices on the same note. So we do not see a possibility of switching members. It will not. The scenario will not be like uh, if I'm using Vodafone Idea and Reliance Jio is offering me a cheaper plan, I'll switch to it. I'll switch to Reliance Jio. Of course, all these three players, the price ranges will be same. So right now, for 3 months, you pay about 400 rupees, right? Uh, so let's say they increase the prices by about 100 200 rupees. So for 3 months period, you'll still be paying for you'll still be paying the same amount, 500 to 600 rupees for all the three players. So no one is going to increase or no one is going to increase disproportionately. No one is going to decrease. or keep the tariff same, because this is going to be an oligopoly market. All these three players are going to hugely control the entire market, and Reliance Jio has already taken the lead. And so, this is going to be an interesting scenario. The good days are definitely going to end. You will have to pay more, uh, and it does not matter which service are you using. No matter if you're using Geo or Airtel or Vodafone Idea, since there are only three players, and I'm not counting in BSN or MTN, because we all know that they do not simply are not in a competitive stage at all. Their customer base is not strong enough. Uh, they do not have good enough services, so it's a three-player market, and the prices are going to increase. The customers, the Indians, are already addicted to data. They are still going to pay it. Of course, there will be a little churn, but they think about them. A typical Indian Geo user, he pays about 400 rupees for 3 months, and after a few months, Geo increases the price to, say, let's say, 600 rupees. Where does he go? He has nowhere to go. He'll have to pay 600 rupees if he wants to use the same amount of data, right? And since he cannot go to Vodafone Idea or Airtel, because they too will be increasing the same prices in the same tune of Geo. So uh, to sum it all up, the telecom operators are supposed to gain a lot from this move, and I think it was a logical move, and it was the only move that was left with Vodafone Idea, given the amount of liabilities that they have acquired, and the amount that they have to pay to the Indian government. Uh, so Supreme Court had declared that within 3 months they had to pay. So by January end, they'll have to pay a lot of money. All the money, in fact, 44,000 rupees. It might even be more. So increasing tariff is one way, of course, and probably is the only way, because they do not have any other option left. So this means that revenues are going to increase, and net profit of all these companies are going to increase, and that was the reason why the share prices of all these companies, skyrocketed. For Vodafone Idea, people, in fact, me also, I was convinced that this company does not have money to pay the dues, and Vodafone Group is not willing to invest any more money. So where is it going to go? Where the scenario is going to go? So as the things cleared now, uh, tariff increase is the way, increasing the tariff price is the way to go forward, and this is going to happen. Uh, so currently, as of now, I'm quite positive that these three companies will coexist in the Indian market, and for following the next steps, you know, they have a good future, of course. If 5G comes, 5G, and you can expect 5G to come in India in about next 1 to 2 up to 3 years. The 5G will start coming to several cities, several areas of specific cities, and the rates will again, it will require a lot of investments, and these companies will again need a lot of money to invest that to develop 5G infrastructure and support uh, across different identified parts of the cities. So that is going to be a challenge, and that's why they need to have that much money by them. They cannot ask for more debt, because they are already deeply submerged in debt. They cannot ask for more debt. So tariff increase will help them. And personally, I think that Vodafone Idea now might have some chances to survival, and it might even become a multi-bagger if it remains a going concern. Going concern means that it remains as a business. It does not go bankrupt. If it exists, if it continues to exist, uh, of course, this stock could be definitely a multi-bagger. I'm not asking you guys to invest it. I'm just asking you guys to research and read about the company. Try to find out, if you want to analyze a company, the best way to do to uh, sorry, there's a will it fall tomorrow? Okay. So Frank has asked, will it fall tomorrow? Uh, if I was so sure, I would have shorted this stock today. I cannot say that with 100% certainty if it's going to fall tomorrow, but seeing the a 40% increase today. And if you map all the stock prices of the entire stock market history for the past 10 or 20 years, you might have observed that if a stock observes a very high growth in first day, then in the next day the growth is likely to slump. uh, I'm not giving you a recommendation to sell it as of now. I'm just, but for the long term, I can talk about the long term. For the long term, the stock, if Vodafone Idea, which uh, remains as a going concern, remains as a company, does not go bankrupt, then in the long term, this might be a very good company to invest in. Uh, if you are confident about it. Again, what I'll advise here is I would advise you to go through the financial statements and the income, the annual report of the company. You can find it on the website of Vodafone Idea. I'll add the link in the description. And before you invest in company, you should always go through several parts of the of the annual report. First is the chairman's message, and second is the management discussion and analysis. Of course, you should also look at the income statement and the balance sheet. Look at the how much asset heavy how is the company, how much is the debt, how much debt the company is carrying, what is its interest coverage ratio. Why is it this important? Because for companies which have a lot of assets like infrastructure companies or telecom companies, they have to invest in a lot of assets. So you have to take a look at their assets and also take a look at their debt. And since most of these companies have to take a lot of debt to operate, therefore their interests are also high, and they have to pay their interest from their operating income. So you have to also look at the interest coverage ratio. So I cannot say what is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not definitely I'm not God, but I feel positive about the company, at least in the long term, that this company is not going to go down for the time being. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. Bye.